YouTube, Doomwaves here for my first video. I wanted to do a pickups video. This is my retro gaming collection. I call it the collection of etc. because I don't really follow one console. It's kind of weird to me that certain people get stuck on one console and then that's all they collect for. I mean, that's just weird to me because I collect for every console that I can. I would like to get as many consoles as I possibly could just because, hey, I want to. I'm going to do a bunch of pickups that I've had for the last couple of weeks, and not all just games. I mean, there's going to be some other stuff too. I've got a couple of comic books, some DVDs, and a couple of vinyl albums that I picked up recently too. And I just want to go ahead and go through all of that. I'm not going to do this in any sort of chronological order as to when I picked it up, or even which system. I'm just going to kind of pick stuff up and just go, because that's what I want to do. I'll start off with some games I picked up at the thrift store last week, one day. And only one of these games I didn't actually have already, but they came in a bundle. There's 4 Atari games. They came in a bundle of 4, and it was $1. So they were $1 a piece. I could just buy just the one that I wanted, but it's okay because I can resell the other 3, and I won't get much out of them. But hey, and in fact, one of the carts that was a duplicate is actually in better shape than my cart. All 4 of these are carts for the Atari 2600, and the one that I kept that's in better shape than my original is Combat. And not that Combat's like even that good of a title. It's a fun game for 2 players, but hell, I mean, it costs like a dime or a penny. There's thousands and thousands of copies of them, but oh well, whatever. It's in good shape. Another one that there's trillions of copies of worldwide, but still classic. That's the original Pac-Man. I know Ms. Pac-Man's technically a better game, but who could deny that Pac-Man is not, in fact, fun? Another Atari classic that I'm sure has somewhat of some resale value as Pitfall. The original Pitfall for the Atari 2600. It's in good shape. No boxes on these or anything. Just loose cards. But hey, it was $1. And this one, I'm really into pinball, and I've never played this. It's Video Pinball. This is the one that I didn't have in my collection. And my collection is not huge, but I didn't have Video Pinballs, and it's in great shape. The label on this one's actually in the best shape of all of them. So I got lucky there that the one that's in the best shape is the one that I didn't have. So got kind of lucky there. So that's my pickups for the Atari 2600. Next we'll go to NES, just because that's the next one here. I got a couple of NES titles. One of them I got last weekend. The other one I got just yesterday, actually. The one I got last weekend was Dragon Warrior 1 for the NES. It was only like $4 at a fairly local music and record store, and they got comic books and lots of vintage games. Actually, in the name, vintage stock. It's a cool store. They got a lot of shit in there. And the other game that I got at a trade post yesterday was Gauntlet. Love this game. It's the 10-gen cart for it, but hey, that's alright. It's alright with me. Some people are annoyed, and I was talking to a buddy of mine, and the one thing that annoys me about 10-gen carts is that the label is upside down compared to gray carts. Oh well, not a big deal. So that's my NES pickups. Got a few Super Nintendo pickups as well. I got, a couple weeks ago, I got Ultima 6, The False Prophet. It doesn't say Ultima 6 on it, but it is Ultima 6. Ultima, The False Prophet. Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat. I've heard this is the worst version of Mortal Kombat, but I don't know. I've never played it. I played Mortal Kombat, just not this card. I played it on the Genesis, and I thought that was pretty bad, but I guess that's worse because it's censored more or something. I don't know. It's just what a friend of mine was telling me. And I got a Super Game Boy. So I was pretty stoked about this. I've got the Game Boy player for my GameCube, so I don't know how often I'll be actually using this, but it's more nostalgia than anything. And actually, when I bought the Super Game Boy, he left a game in it too. It was from a friend of mine. He gave it to me, and he left, and it said It's Game & Watch Gallery 2. It's got a lot of random titles on it, like a parachute game, like Donkey Kong and stuff like that for the Game Boy. Kind of a weird title. I don't know if I'll keep it or not. It's kind of cool to have, I guess. And while we're on the topic of Game Boy, I guess I'll show you the other Game Boy pickup that I have. This is my favorite Zelda game ever. This is Zelda Link's Awakening. It's got a little bit of some marker right there, but I'll get that off. I got Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. Now, I think I'm the only person on the planet that didn't get Tetris with my original Game Boy. Mine came with Zelda, and that was so freaking cool because we had the Zelda and Zelda 2 Link's Adventure for the NES, so I was already, you know, kind of into Zelda. My dad was really into it, so when I got my original Game Boy, I was so stoked when I had Zelda with it. Oh, it was awesome, and I never beat it as a kid, but as an adult, I've played ROMs and I beat it. I had the game, and I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared recently, so I replaced it for like 11 bucks. And on to the N64. I guess I am kind of going in order of oldest to newest. I guess I just played it, put them that way on accident. I don't know. I got some really great N64 titles that I really wanted, and I'm kind of new to this retro gaming thing. But these are always games that I've always wanted, and it's just taken me forever to get to a place in my life where I had the consoles and I had just a little bit of extra money to buy these used games. And for the most part, I got really great deals on them. I got Quake for about 8 bucks. I got Star Fox 64. And I got Turok and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. It's Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, both for 5 bucks each. So that was pretty awesome. Some PlayStation 1 titles that I got. And I got these in a package deal, kind of. It came with like 4 or 5 games, and one of them I'm not going to keep, and one of them actually is kind of a rip-off, but oh well, I'll get over that. And one of them I've already put in my to sell box because I don't really want it. And the one I don't really want is Triple Play 98. I like baseball. I'm just not really into sports games that much, and I've got lots of other baseball titles, so I don't know, maybe I'll try it out before I get rid of it. I just can't see Triple Play 98 being that good. That's just me. A sports title that I did decide to keep, but it may change after I play it a little bit, is NHL 2001. Now, I'm kind of into hockey, so well, I'm into baseball too, but I'm kind of into hockey, and I'm anxious to see what this hockey game is all about. I've never had a hockey sports game before, not even for the NES. I've never actually even played one, so I'm anxious to see what it's all about. And this one I was kind of excited about was Tekken 2. I've never played any of the Tekken games, but I'm really a fan of like beat 'em ups. So Tekken 2, we'll have to check that out and see what it's all about. And in that same pickup, I got the PS2 game, or the PS1 games. I got one PS2 game that came with the same pack, and I was really stoked for it actually. It was Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. And then when I got back to my house, whatever, I realized that it was a demo disc. So bummed. It's a trial version. That happened to me last week too. I actually have it over there too. It's a copy of Final Fantasy 12 demo disc. But the part that irks me the most is that it's a trial version, a demo disc, but the guy had the strategy guide to go with it. And he only charged me $1.50 for the strategy guide. Maybe it's because he knew he was ripping me off and I was still going to have to buy the game anyway. Oh well, I'll get over it. So a couple of other PS2 titles that I've got yesterday and last week and the last couple of weeks. Enter the Matrix. Now, I'm a big fan of the films, and I haven't really played this game all the way through. I used to have, it's actually one of my first PS2 games, but it got scratched and I couldn't get past a certain part because my game would just stop. So I got rid of it, whatever. And then I also got Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 for the Xbox 360. First of all, for the Xbox, I got a copy of Halo 1 for $1. No artwork or original box or anything. Then I got Left 4 Dead 2 for $3.60. So I was pretty stoked about that. I got that for $8 at a garage sale. I got a couple of DVDs too. I got The Ring. I don't know why. It's a very, very bad movie. I just like it. A lot of people who are a fan of the book hated the film, but I like the film because I never read the book. And that's Aragon. The movie's kind of jumpy, jumps around a little bit too much. It can be kind of confusing, but I did like it. But I'm cheesy like that anyway. And then a really great documentary about one of my favorite bands, and they have been one of my favorite bands for a long time. So I'm trying to not feel like a poser right now, but that's Metallica's Some Kind of Monster. It's a really great documentary. And I hated that album, Saint Anger, before I watched this documentary the first time. And after I watched it, I gave the album another chance. Oh, we'll get to my album some other time. I'll do like a massive music post because I'm kind of running out of time. But I will show you my comic books that I picked up recently. One of them I've never heard of at all, and that's not saying much. Don't laugh at me for being really ignorant on a lot of comics. But that's Youngblood Strike Force. I think it's issue number 1. Yeah, first explosive issue. It's like double-sided. It's got this dude on this side and this dude on the other side. So it only cost me 10 cents at a thrift shop. And also, a guy I fell in love with after reading these couple of comics that I got was X-O Manowar from Valiant. I got issue number 14 and 15, X-O Manowar featuring Turok. So that's really awesome. There's 14 and there's 15. X-O Manowar featuring Turok. So that's my recent pickups, my game pickups. I've got a lot of games. I'm really into retro gaming, and I really like a lot of you guys on YouTube, and I hope that you check out my pickups. And I'll do a game room tour one of these days, but for now my game room is kind of defunct, so we'll have to let it be. For now, I'm Doomwaves. Peace.